Sup, we're back with more Great Ace Attorney. And Ryunosuke is currently dying of sweat. He has been sweating for however long was in between these recordings. Which is like a full day, so yeah. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to shock you. Last time, what was his name? Hosonaga. Hosonaga freaking died. He really was lost in his thoughts. Deeply. It looked like you were thinking something just now, Inspector. Perhaps having heard what the lady next to you had to say. I really like Kazuma's poses. If there's something you'd like to say, please, share it with the court.
Objection! What is the meaning of this? It's the delightful Englishwoman who's testifying at the moment. If you can't find fault with her testimony, then the cross-examination should be over. Immediately.
Oh, is that how it works? Absolutely not. The detective is in the stand, which makes him a valid witness. Yes, not to mention the fact that he's intimately involved in the case. Inspector Hosonaga. Yes. Do you have something to add in relation to the statement just made by Miss Brett? Wipe it off, my man. Well, yes, if you don't mind, I would like to speak. I was expecting her to say damn you again. The lady is right, our country's police practices are not as modern as those used in Great Britain. Which is why I, Satoru Hosonaga, always strive to make every investigation I'm involved in flawless. What do you really mean by that? You've said it a few times. I'll tell you what I mean. I won't have evidence lacking on my watch. I'm not afraid to take everything I can from the scene of the crime. It's preserving evidence, you see. I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief. I'm not ashamed of what I've done. So you're telling me there's evidence that you took? A crime scene thief? Well, it looks like the lady's remarks touched a nerve there. Take this, for example. Oh... Is that... This is the bottle of carbonated water that I took to the victim's table on the day in question. And yes, it's lost all of its fizz, having been opened 3 days ago. But it was carbonated water. I don't care what anyone says. Yes, there's some left in the bottle, I can see it. One day our police force will be among the best in the world. The time is coming, I guarantee it. Dude, you're gonna die before you get to see that time at this rate. I can't say I condone the witness's actions, but I do understand the sentiment. The court will accept the glass bottle of water as evidence. Carbonated water the victim and Miss Brett shared on the day of the murder. It was on the victim's table. Miss Brett. Can you confirm this is indeed the bottle from which you drank on the day of the victim's death? Yes, it was that bottle. What was that about? She seemed to avert her eyes when she answered the judge's question. My dude really do got a good sight there. A good observing eye. Very well. Counsel, you may resume the cross-examination. And the inspector will kindly control his fervor. Alright. Okay, so I guess we should check our, well, we don't need to present it yet, but let's check this. We can examine. Okay. Let's read the label. The label is written in a foreign language that I don't recognize. Do you know what it says, Cosmo? I think it's French. This must be very expensive water. Yes, but what does it say? That's what I was asking. Then go to France and ask. You could just say that you don't know. No? Nothing? Can't find anything out of place. Okay. Can I look down, maybe? Can't find anything out of place. Still? Okay. Oh, what's this? There's something here. So this carbonated water is the last drink Dr. Wilson ever had. It looks like there's a little left in the bottle, although it's just plain water now. You know, I've been sweating so much, I'm absolutely parched. I'll just have a sip of this to keep me going. No, Ryunosuke, you can't do that. For one thing, that's evidence. You can't go drinking evidence. Oh no, you're right. We don't know what might be inside, do we? Never cease to amaze, Ryunosuke. In more ways than one. I wonder... could there be anything in this water? What's the matter? You've gone quiet all of a sudden. I think I might have just worked something out. An interesting possibility. Oh, shit. Wait a second. You see that? It's like there's... it's almost like there's a lens inside of it. Oh, or maybe that's the liquid. Yeah, maybe that line is actually the water in it. By mistake, the professor and I raise our glasses in a toast. Perhaps others? Yes! What is this? The bottle of water? Was I actually right? Actually, there is one method of killing a man without leaving a trace that comes to mind. Oh, you better start sweating, go. Obviously, I'm referring to poison. Woo! I nailed it. I'm the best. I called that last episode. I'm godlike. Praise me, for I am the best attorney of all time. Poison? On the day of his death, we know that Dr. Wilson drank from this bottle of carbonated water. Could it be that there was poison inside? Oh... could it be that the professor actually died after taking a sip from his glass? That would explain why she took the glass with her, because it had traces of poison on it. She took his glass. Order, order, order! And on that day, who was sitting at the same table as the professor and able to slip the poison into his drink? There's only one person who could have possibly done it. Giselle Brett, it was you! Oh shit. We got our theme song playing. Because it's our time to shine. Nah, get out of here, Top Knot.
This is outrageous to suggest such a thing without a scrap of evidence. You little rookie imbecile. Have you even considered the delicate situation our country finds itself in now? Have you forgot that we only just signed an accord of friendship with the British Empire? Have you even the vaguest inkling that your rash accusations could jeopardize the entire treaty?
Objection!
This is not a political arena. This is a trial to determine one individual's guilt with respect to one crime.
What?
The fact that this woman is British makes no difference. We are here to determine the truth.
Ahem, if I may. I will silence you forever for this description. It is you who should be silent. Of course.
Holy shit. Girl just told him to shut up. Yo, respect for that, though. Telling that man to shut up. I want to hear that voice line again. That was great.
Dear lady!
Where did that come from? She just snapped. I'm afraid I may have spoken unfairly before. I offer my most humble apologies. I'm sorry, my lady. To what are you referring? I described your police force as inferior. But no matter how inferior they may be, you still investigated this particular point thoroughly, I believe. The bottle, I mean, Inspector, and whether it contained poison or not. Of course. You did? Have you forgotten what my guiding principle is already? I strive for a flawless investigation every time. I don't believe it. Naturally, we tested the inside of the bottle and its contents. And what did you find, Inspector? I bet you... I'm gonna call it right now. There was no poison in the bottle, but we're gonna find traces of poison on the cup that she has in her handbag. I ordered tests for every toxin that's available in this country at the present time. You could find no trace of poison of any description in the bottle of carbonated water, Your Excellency. Or, what he just said, I ordered tests for every toxin that's available in this country. Perhaps it was from out of country, because that wording is very specific. What? Are you sure? The tests were meticulously carried out by the chief coroner himself. No. No! Ow. I'm very grateful to all you Japanese. You've successfully established my complete innocence in this horrid affair. Thank you. But of course, dear lady, that pleasure was all ours. I was so sure. This can't be right. Everything falls into place if he was poisoned. Thank you, Counsel. I think the cross-examination has clarified everything. As the prosecution have asserted, a shot to the chest from the gun is the only conceivable cause of death. Furthermore, the accused, who by his own admission was holding this weapon, is the only possible culprit. I'm done for. The court wishes to apologize for the great inconvenience that this has caused you, Miss Brett. Oh no, I'm just glad the matter is resolved. Before proceeding, I must ask the counsel for the defense. Do you have any further new evidence to present the court at this point? Sure. Kazuma. I'm sorry, Ryunosuke. I have nothing more. Well, if you'll excuse me now, I really must be leaving. What are we gonna do from here? It's not like we can just say to test for poisons outside of this place.
Hold it!
Who was that? Who? You! What is it? The assistant of Mikotoba. Please wait. Isn't that... What is the meaning of this? Forgive me for intruding on court proceedings, Your Excellency. Susato Mikotoba, Judicial Assistant to the Defense. Mikotoba? So she's a relative of that guy. In my darkest hour, with nowhere left to go, she appeared like a bolt of lightning. And in her hands, she carried a small package wrapped in a furoshiki cloth. To be continued right now, because this recording is only 14 minutes long. Well, if only I went over over an hour on the last recording. Dun 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 dun. Man, I just want to say the frickin' episode 3, I think it was, ended perfectly because of that little jingle. Save, might as well, since we're here. Alright, let's continue onwards. 22nd, 1:04 p.m. Supreme Court of Judicature, Courtroom 2. I actually pronounce it right. Our savior. Well, I understand you are the judicial assistant to the defense, but why the sudden ingress into my courtroom?
Ha! A judicial assistant and a woman, no less.
Wow.
The rules state that females are not permitted into this court of law other than to testify.
Ah, right. This is old-timies. Old-timies and Japan. Great. Yes, I fully understand. I ask only for 5 minutes of time. I have some vital evidence that I must hand over to the defense.
Ah, you're too late, little girl. This trial has already been concluded.
5 minutes. I will not allow a moment more.
But, Your Excellency...
I am most grateful. Hi there. Who exactly are you?
I'm sorry, there's no time. Please, simply accept this for now.
What is it? A report about something? Written in English. I can't read this. I'm illiterate.
It's Giselle Brett's research.
The Englishwoman's?
After the trial resumed earlier, I hurried back to the university. I went to Dr. Wilson's laboratory in the medical faculty and borrowed this paper.
Oh yes, that's right. Miss Brett was studying under the professor, wasn't she?
So does this research, whatever it is, have something to do with the case? I'm afraid I don't know. I haven't been able to listen to the proceedings of the trial myself.
Oh, no, of course not. Special characteristics of Curare and its effects on human subjects. Interesting. Curare, what's that? Never heard of that word before.
Time's up. That wasn't 5 minutes. The prosecution demands the immediate removal of this female trespasser from the courtroom.
No girls allowed, get out! I'm joking.
But I've summarized what I... Sorry, I used Ouchie's voice for that line. What'd she say? There was too little time for me to read it in detail, but I've summarized what I could on a note just inside the cover. If you think it could be valuable, please cast your eye over it. This is wonderful. Thank you. Giselle's report has been entered into the court record. Goodbye then, and good luck. Thank you very much.
You have had long enough, Counsel. We cannot detain our English guest any longer. I ask the prosecution and the defense now one last time. Does either side have any further evidence to present to the court? I presume not, but...
The prosecution has made its case convincingly enough already. Nothing more to add, Your Excellency.
Ryunosuke, we're out of options here. This really is our very last chance. Yes, I know.
Your Excellency, the defense does have new evidence.
That look. The unyielding stare of a true Japanese warrior. Well, Miss Brett.
Yes, Your Excellency.
If you wouldn't mind, perhaps you could grace us with your presence a little longer.
It's a delightful invitation, but I'm afraid... It's not so very long until tea time. I'll have to politely decline.
Forgive me, Miss Brett. It seems I wasn't clear. I realize it was phrased as a question, however... I must ask you to treat that as an order.
Based judge. Legend.
I've said it many times before, but the Japanese language makes no sense. My apologies, dear lady. So, counsel, what is this new evidence that demands the court's attention? Well, maybe I should examine it first. Poison made from the bark of certain trees in the jungles of South America. South America. The hunters of the region have used it since ancient times to incapacitate their prey. Effects: instant paralysis of the entire body and subsequent death, even in minute doses. Route of entry: the above-mentioned effects occur when the poison enters the body through a wound, such as that inflicted by a blowpipe dart. So it enters through a wound. Due to its ability to render the human body paralytic, it's believed that the toxin could have application as an anesthetic. However, a solution for the respiratory arrests caused as a result of the full-body paralysis must be found first, or patients would die of suffocation. Application as an anesthetic. Was it used on... It could have been used on Wilson. And then... okay. Okay. Yeah, it's this.
Yes!
We got nothing else. Miss Giselle Brett. We understand you were studying under Dr. Wilson at Yume University, doing research. Research, by sheer coincidence perhaps, into a deadly poison.
What?
Poison? Where are you going with this, counsel? Toxin known as Curair, Your Excellency. Given the slightest amount of this deadly poison entering the body leads to instant death.
Objection!
What complete and utter nonsense? Curair, you say? I've never heard of such a thing.
You wouldn't have done.
What do you mean?
I mean that you wouldn't have heard of Curair before, for one very simple reason. It doesn't exist in our country. It doesn't exist? Correct. Correct, which means, no matter what tests the police can do for toxins, they never identify Curair.
Why?
Because there is no test available here that can identify the presence of this highly deadly poison.
What?
Destroyed. Order, order, order. Counsel, does this deadly poison truly exist? According to this report, authored by the visiting research student from England, Curair has long been used by the tribes people of South America as a poison to lace their arrows. It seems that it's reasonably well known among European doctors and scientists.
To lace their arrows?
The report states that it's produced from the extract of a tree that grows deep in the Amazonian jungle. And it was first brought back to Europe at the turn of the century by explorers. It claims that animals shot by arrows laced with Curair suffer instant death. Doesn't that about sum it up, Miss Brett?
Objection!
Trumpery. These aspirations are utter trumpery. To start with, if the victim had been administered some of the so-called deadly poison, he would have been squirming and writhing in pain, and the other diners would have surely noticed.
Bro, we just said it's instant death, you dumbass. That's true. What do you say to that, Inspector? Obviously, I would have noticed a disturbance like that. I don't remember anything like that either. I didn't notice the professor being in any kind of pain. We just said it's instant death. According to this, however, it's the other way around.
What do you mean, the other way around?
The very fact that the victim didn't show any visible signs of distress is evidence that Curair was used. Explain yourself, counsel. The moment this toxin enters a person's system, it causes instant paralysis. In other words, afflicted victims lose all strength and are completely unable to move. Even if they were in total agony, there would be no visible signs of pain at all. How terrible! Obviously, if a man lost all his strength in his muscles, he'd collapse on the floor. But with a chair under him for support, as Dr. Wilson did, the effects could go largely unnoticed. But I don't follow, Kazuma. That's just paralysis. I thought the poison caused instant death. The full explanation is extremely unpleasant. The poison causes immediate paralysis, as I said, leaving the victim unable to move. But after a short time, the paralysis is so severe it causes the muscles that control respiration to fail. Respiration? In other words, the victim's actual cause of death is suffocation. Oh shit. I didn't even piece that together. And all the while, the victim is conscious and aware, just unable to move. That's hideous. To the observer, it would look almost like the victim was slipping peacefully into an endless sleep. But for the victim himself, his final moments would be a living hell. That is the true nature of this deadly Cuiraire poison. Dead silence in the courtroom. And you're suggesting that this bottle, Counsel, actually contains this terrifying poison?
Objection!
This is all very convenient, isn't it? A hitherto unknown poison for which there is no means of testing. What a happy tale for the defense. Ahem, if I may. All these facts, you think you're so clever, but you must be taught them. It is you who must be taught. Of course. Dear lady. So, this is how you Japanese behave, is it? What? You steal another's honest, hard work and then announce the results as if you discover them. I'm appalled. What a loathsome act. Well, Miss Brett, the feeling is mutual. Whatever do you mean? Capitalizing on the unfortunate circumstance of an innocent man to frame him for a heinous crime. Oh, shoot. Didn't mean to open that. Whoopsies. That really is a loathsome act. Wouldn't you agree?
Objection!
Enough of this. I, for one, refuse to accept it. The idea of some poison that doesn't even exist in the great Empire of Japan is breaking the rules.
What's so funny?
Oh, excuse me, Your Excellency.
Yes, Miss Brett.
May I borrow that bottle for a moment, please?
Well, yes. I don't see, why not?
Don't get too big for your boots, you insignificant little island boys.
Sorry?
Is she about to drink it? To an English woman such as myself, this whole affair is a farcical comedy. Your little police games and these foolish courtroom antics. It's laughable, really. But I'm getting bored of it all now. It's time for the games to end. Cheers.
Knew that was coming. Oh shit. Yeah, we're still not even gonna see her eyes. Wait, what are you doing?
No sparkle left at all. How appropriate for this shabby affair.
Wait a second. Hold up. Hold up. Route of entry. The above When the poison is entered the body through a wound, she's not wounded at all. So it doesn't have a route of entry. Solution for... Yeah, it needs a wound. I just realized! He had his tooth removed! He got... Isn't that what happened? He got a tooth removed, right? That's why he wasn't allowed to eat. It entered through... The route of entry was through the place where his freaking tooth was removed. Oh shit, I just called it. I know that's definitely it. But also, everyone's still shocked about the fact that she drank the supposed poison. And silence, yet again. So how's everyone's day going? Goodness. Whatever is the matter? You all look quite stunned. So, no cure. The bottle is clean, is what you're saying. You look quite incredulous, little boy, but of course, that's the simple truth. Well, shit. Thank you for presenting the findings of my research so concisely here in this grand venue. Most kind. This is new music. Very dire type of music. Thank you, waiter. Now then, Your Excellency. Yes, Miss Brett. I should like to be excused now, please. I think I've given more than enough of my time for the furtherance of friendship between our countries. Oh yes, dear lady. We are most gratified with all the assistance you have given. This doesn't make sense. There had to have been poison in that bottle. So how? How did she swallow a whole glass and live to tell the tale? I don't understand it. I do. Well, I suppose if nothing else, this little far eastern charade will make for interesting conversation at the next party I attend in London. There has to have been poison in that bottle, doesn't there? But there can't have been. Because otherwise she would have keeled over dead. Come on, Ryunosuke. We have all the clues now. That bottle of water contains poison. I'm not gonna go for the meme answer here. The culprit did put Cure poison into Dr. Wilson's carbonated water. The defense refuses to change its position. You're serious?
Objection!
Fool, are you blind? There's no possible way that bottle could contain poison. I mean, we just saw...
Miss Brett drinking the water from it? That's right, which rather complicates your argument, I think. And I believe that complication can be explained. How exactly? I need to think through all the things that don't quite add up here, one by one. I'm sure the answer is in the evidence we have in the court record somewhere. It has to be. Very well, if the defense truly insists to assert this claim, then I must ask you to support the assertion with evidence. What explains how the witness was able to consume the supposed poisoned water unscathed? This one, right? On the day of the murder, the victim had undergone dental treatment and had... Yeah. Let's look at this again. This is clearly a record of some kind of medical treatment. And there's an entry for the day the professor was killed. Extraction with the use of anesthesia. Extraction, so he had a tooth out. Exactly. Okay. Sounds like he went before lunch. Decayed tooth removed. So couldn't feel anything. So latest medical advancement in the West. Okay, yeah. This has got to be it.
Yes!
Seems the defense, or should I say, the wretched accused, is the only real source of complication in this case. You'll have to think harder than that, defendant. Wait, what? That wasn't it? Sorry, Your Excellency. I'll try to find some better supporting evidence. Okay. Shoot. Okay, that wasn't it. Maybe I'm jumping the gun? Maybe I have to do something else first? Sorry, this wretched accused... If the defense, sorry, the wretched accused truly intends to assert this claim. Okay. How the witness was able to consume this supposed... Okay, yeah, never mind.
Yes!
This, sorry. The answer to this riddle is right here in Miss Brett's own research report. Sorry, I made a leap of logic there. I went straight to the end of the case. No?
After all, we don't speak English. That report is utter gibberish. This impudent young scoundrel is trying to ridicule the court, Your Excellency.
I'm not trying to ridicule anyone, honest. I'm just reading Susato-san's notes. I concur, this report is too extensive to be considered in its entirety by the court. You direct us to the pertinent section, Counsel. The section of the report reveals the alleged answer to this riddle. Court record. Let's check it ourselves. Okay, root of entry, that's what we need. Which is special characteristics. We've been hearing a lot about this Curare poison. And it's left me curious about something. Oh, Counsel? Well, it sounds as though indigenous hunters have been using this poison for years and years to lace the heads of the arrows that they shoot at whatever prey they're hunting. So we've been led to believe, yes. And the point of hunting is to catch prey to eat.
Get to the point, please.
But if they were to use these laced arrows, doesn't that mean there would be traces of poison left in the prey the hunters were going to eat? Yes, good point. So surely the hunters wouldn't want to eat their prey, would they? Because they'd be eating poison. Good gracious, Counsel. No, that would be madness. But I actually found the answer to that conundrum in this research paper here. Under special characteristics, it says this. The poison starts to work after entering the body through a wound. Through a wound, you say? I see, that makes sense. Yes, the mention of that particular detail seemed a little strange to me, though. But it all makes sense when you interpret what's written like this. When Curare enters the body through an open wound, it has terrifying poisonous effects. However, when it enters the body via the mouth, it has no poisonous effects whatsoever.
What?
Miss Brett, you authored this research. You knew Curare's special characteristics. And you knew that you could make a spectacle of drinking this water without any danger to yourself.
You meddling little...
Oh shit.
rapscallion!
Oh, she's pissed. Her frickin' hat just came alive. Well, Ryunosuke, it turns out. You're an even better lawyer than I thought you'd be. Really? Me? A lawyer?
Objection!
All this poison talk is fascinating, I'm sure, but I fail to see how it's possible. So, the ill-bred little puppy has a new toy to play with. Some facts he read in a book. But I'm afraid knowledge doesn't suit you, little boy. It only makes you look silly.
What are you trying to say?
Your schoolboyish logic has a fatal flaw.
Schoolboyish? Flaw?
As even your brain has managed to deduce, Curare is safe to ingest.
It seems likely that its effects are neutralized by the acidic nature of the gastric succus. Yes, well, of course. Gastric suckers, what are they? I like this pose. It's very, you can very much tell that he's a, this pose in particular can really tell you that he's a relative of Phoenix Wright. Because this game is taking place way before, and they have the same last name of Naruhodo. Though it wasn't localized, his last name wasn't localized because they wanted to keep this game, certain parts of it, authentically Japanese, you know. Because this is the same pose that Phoenix does. So, if this lethal poison is completely harmless when drunk, the professor wouldn't have died when he swallowed it, would he? Nah, I already know the fact on this.
That's right.
Good gracious! That's basic science. Science that even a schoolboy should be able to understand, no? Order in the court. Order. The logic holds. If the lady and the professor drank the same poison, they would be affected in the same way. Are you trying to suggest?
Yes, this Curer poison is completely irrelevant to the case on trial.
That's right. Surely even a little cockroach like you could understand something as simple as that. What is this welling up inside me? I've never felt like this before. It's a sort of conviction to break down all the discrepancies. It's so intense, almost rage-like. And more than anything else, it's an animalistic desire to take down my prey. Oh! Oh shit, I talked over his objection. I don't think so, Miss Giselle Brett. Sorry, I'll make sure to be quiet next time I think it's gonna happen. How dare you use that tone with me? You know very well that there is no fatal flaw here. You know exactly why, even though both you and the victim swallowed the same poison. You are alive, but Dr. Wilson is dead. Counselor, I'm sure I don't need to remind you must provide compelling evidence. This is where I present it. As we now know that this poison is completely harmless when ingested. Why would Dr. Wilson alone have been killed by the Curer? Right here.
Take that!
Oh, shoot! He said, take that! That's a new one. He's no longer just saying yes. This is better. This is great. As Miss Brett so readily pointed out, she drank the same water as the professor. However, there was a fundamental and fatal difference between the two diners. A fatal difference? The toxic effects of Curer are only felt when the poison enters the body through an open wound. So, for a healthy person with no injuries, drinking it is completely harmless. But, however, what if there was a wound inside the mouth of the person drinking the poisoned water? Like a removed tooth.
Inside?
Yes, like the wound you might have. If you had just been to the dentist and had a tooth extracted, for example.
Ah.
Oh! Miss Brett, you've acknowledged many times in your testimony already that you were well aware of Dr. Wilson's dental appointment that day.
Ah.
So that's it. You use that knowledge to orchestrate this. Is she? Is she what? We'll find out next time on The Great Ace Attorney. Adios, ciao, and signing off until next time. Bye-bye, And ja, mata ne.